Hello, hello, hello. Finally live. Oof. Please, if you're on the chat, please let me know if you can hear me and see me. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Zadra Agbemi. Can you please indulge me for a while and just introduce yourself in the chat? Let me know your name, if you've published any book, also the also the genre of your book. Is it fiction, non-fiction? Let's meet you in the comment section. My name is Adra Bemi Akintepede, and I'm streaming live from Ibadan. So let me know where you are streaming from. If you're an author, what you've written so far. Okay, so I'm going to wait for a while for more people to join in so we can start. Okay. Oh, Awa from Kogi State. Oh, beautiful. Just published your first book. It's a memoir novel, personal reflection titled The Girl Child is Not a Limit, streaming from Ojodubeka in Ogun State. Oh, Awa, you're from TikTok. Thank you so much for putting this in mind. I really, really, really appreciate. Oh yeah. You commented on my post on TikTok I think 2 days ago. Thank you so much for joining. And I went through your page and I said you've been doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Trying to wait for more people to join us. We are live now. Okay. We'll just start by 7:20. Yeah. Hope you are fine. How was your day? How's your weekend been? I went to church today personally. Ezekiel, oh, had to work on Friday and Saturday. Oh wow. Today has been a bit great. Okay. Sorry you had to work into the weekend, Ezekiel. And thank you so much for joining. Tomorrow is Monday, yeah. Crazy. The 9 to 5 struggle continues. Uh, Thank you so much for joining. And sorry, Ezekiel. Ezekiel, where are you streaming from? Okay. Okay. Ogba Lagos. All right. Oh, so everyone here, Lagos, Lagos. Hour to Lagos. Okay. Okay. We are starting by 7:20. Okay. Right. I'll be sharing my screen. So, all right. So let me start. Okay. Let me quickly. Okay. 7:20 now. So I'm going to start sharing my screen now. If you are just joining, just introduce yourself. Let me know where you're streaming from, any past work you've done. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. Hi, Tiwa. Thank you so much for joining from Abeokuta, Ogun State. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. All right. Let's just open from here. Yeah. Can you see my screen, please? Yes. All right. Okay. I'm so sorry for the delay. I was trying to get my I was trying to get it open from my PowerPoint, but it was not coming on. Yeah. Okay. And let's try to open it in a new tab. Okay. I think it's clearer now. So yeah, title is why your book isn't selling and what to do about it. A 90 minutes workshop for authors who have published and gone invisible. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'll be going ahead to introduce myself now. Next slide. I published my first book at 14 while I was in SS2, and I had absolutely no idea what to do next. I was in SS2 at the time when a publisher came into my parents' school. My parents have a school, so a publisher came into the school to supply books to my parents, and then this person was shown a copy of my manuscript. So it was at the back of this. little A4 paper manuscript. And then he convinced my parents to, yeah. And then he convinced my parents to get me published. And I was so excited. I just wanted to become an author. I just wanted to get published. And it was a huge feat for me back then because, I don't think anyone else in my set um published a book around the same time. So it was like a one of one. Like you could not tell me anything. You could tell me nothing. You could not tell me anything. I was on top of the world. I was just happy. I was just excited that I'm finally an author, a published author. And that was it. It was just we invested money. My parents gave me money. They gave the publisher money. We published the book, and then we told few friends and family about the book. I also brought it to school. I showed it to my English teacher at the time, and that story for another day completely. But yeah, that was the only marketing plan. That was the only post publishing plan we had for it. Nobody sat me down and say, okay, now that you are a published author, this and this and this, you should do this and this and this and this next. I had absolutely no idea what to do next. So it was just me and my book, and that was my first book. After then, I kept publishing more books, and then several years down the line as well, I met with other authors. I met with other authors who were trying to find out on their own what to do next. What do you do after publishing? Because if you want to publish a book, you can always take a writing class. If you want to write a book, you can always take a writing class. If you want to publish, you can always meet with a publisher. But people don't talk as much. We don't get more hype about 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 book writing. Most people don't talk about book writing that much. It's just something you find out along the way, after you've gotten to the point where you've published your book, everyone has congratulated you, and then it's just you and your book left, and then you're just left to figure it out on your own. So several years down the line, I kept meeting people who had the same issue too as well, who experienced the same thing. And oh, welcome Faith, Ibadan. Finally, I have someone who is from the same place, who is from Ibadan with me. Finally, thank you so much for joining, Grace. Thank you. All right. So, for my second book, my first book was published at the age of 14. My second book was published at the age of 17 when I was in my first year in the university studying law. So by this time, because I've spent 3 years being a published author, right? So I took a writing class. I took a writing class with Lajuiren of CCI. Lajuiren, she was my writing coach. I took a writing class with her. And because I started coming online on Instagram, so I discovered, okay, there's something called pre-order. So I tried to implement that for my second book, that's titled New Chase. I used Google Forms to get details for pre-order. Then I did little things like asking people to vote for covers. I tried to do little, but they were just things I was picking up along the line. So nobody really sat me down to say, like, to give me the full gist of the entire process. They were just things I kept, as I was moving, I was learning along the line. And it's been over 10 years already, and I've had to do a lot of self-learning. Even till now, I still do a lot of self-learning when it comes to things like this. And also I okay, sorry, let me go back to my story. There's the last part of it. During this time, I also developed interest in content creation, copywriting, social media strategy and management. I was fascinated by social media, by the ability to come online, to write things, to talk about things. And I was also managing a women's group I was in. So I was the team lead for it. So I was introduced to social media management. So I started learning more about how to speak online, how to share your message online. I was just speaking it as I was going to do it. It was majorly self-taught. And I started gaining interest in social media, content creation, and everything. So I've had people from different authors that I've had the opportunity to speak with over the course of all my years in publishing, in writing and publishing. I've met authors who have invested real money, real time, real tears into writing, editing. Because after writing, then you discover someone will tell you, you need to edit your book. And then you edit. And so it was not until my second book that I discovered that we even have different types of editing. Again, I didn't know we had developmental editor, we had editor. Developmental editor is for like the development of the story itself, and that's different from someone who just edits for the grammar, for like the grammar, the structure. So we have different types of editing too, so I had to learn that along the way as well. I had to learn that along the way as well. Then publishing, I still work with the first publisher I work with, even though I have my own publishing firm now. That I published my own books now in my publishing firm's name. But I still work with him. But I've discovered I've had to learn so many things on my own too as well. Oh, this paper is screen bound, this and this. So I've had to learn so many things by myself. But when it came to showing up online, attracting readers, and actually selling books, nobody really taught us how to. I've heard from people who have said, "Oh, I posted my book cover. I was asked to post quotes from my book. I did that. I got 12 likes from family members." So can you see my third screen, please? I'm on page 3. Can you see that, please? I think it's still showing just one. Still showing page 1. Oh wow. Okay, so let me just navigate it from here. Let me see if I can share. Okay, so I'll just share from here. Share. This is broader. Let me know if you can see this. You can see this, right? Because I moved to. So sorry. I moved from page 2 to even page. I didn't know, and I was trying to keep track with my second phone here, but I just thought. So I just noticed now. So this is. I was on this page earlier. Get to know more about me. Okay. So sorry. I was on this page earlier, get to know more about me. So I was saying when I was in SS2. So this is everything I talked about just now. Yeah. Um that I had to learn everything on my own, and then I met with several authors down the line who have invested money, resources into writing and publishing. But when it came to up online and marketing their books, everyone was at a loss. Everyone didn't most people didn't know what to. And then I also mentioned that age 17, I learned about pre-order online. And then I decided to implement that for my second book that I published at age 17. And also said during this time, I developed interest in content creation. I was managing a page for an advocacy female advocacy group, and that was my introduction to social media management, page management, content creation, because we were making carousels, we were doing monday monday woman inspiration. So that was my first introduction to social media management. Yeah, then I moved to, so I said I was fascinated by content creation. Then, so this is the third one now. So I said I've met people who have invested everything but they went silent, and that's the real problem. We've had fiction authors who have said, "Oh, I posted my book cover. I was asked to post my book cover." For most people, that's usually like the first shocker for them, because you've spent months isolating yourself to write this wonderful book that you believe will change the world, and then you, because you've spent so much time, even maybe your publisher has disappointed you, or you've had to learn how to publish ebook online yourself, you've had to cut through lots of lots of difficulties on your own, and then you expect that when you come online and then when you announce to people that, oh guys, I'm finally an author, everyone will rush at your book and everyone will buy it. But then you post and then it's crickets. Maybe the first second day everyone says congratulations, 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 and then you expect that the congratulations you translate to sales, but you just realize that everywhere is just crickets, nothing. You get 12 likes from family, but then you realize that there's no engagement, there's no sales. The congratulations didn't translate into sales. For a non-fiction author, you've written an entire book solving a real problem. You know that this, you've had conversations with people, and you've known that, you've realized that this thing that you've written about will actually solve a problem, will actually, this book is very impactful, it is valuable, it will change someone's life. But nobody knows this book exists. Even the people that you wrote it for, even the people who have this problem that you wrote it for, they don't even know that your book exists. There's a visibility problem. People do not know your book exists. And it's not because these books, they are not good enough or we are not talented. It is because nobody taught us this, but it's because nobody started us down and say, oh, there is the visibility part, there's the marketing part. You still, people still need, as much as this book is beautiful, is the most beautiful thing you've ever done, people still need to see this book. Publishing is not the final line. There's still more steps to this. You still need to do more things. You still need to get this book to the readers. Nobody really broke all of that down. If we really knew that, we would have started book marketing. I always say that book marketing should start from the moment the book idea is conceived. I'll say it again. Book marketing should start from the moment the book idea is conceived. From the moment you start thinking about your book, you should start marketing it. The first stage of market, that first stage of marketing will be to start test running the idea, bring up what you want to talk about in your book as a post, as a carousel, as a single image with caption, raise it to friends and family when you meet them in gatherings. Try to raise it to people and see their reaction to it. So you're, from the moment you've decided, oh, I want to write a book, this is what this book will be about. Is it fiction, is it non-fiction? If it's fiction, what will the characters be like, this and that. And once you've concluded on it, from that moment you should start teasing it online, bit by bit, bit by bit. So your book marketing should start from the moment your book is conceived. So everything we'll be covering in this workshop: the top three myths about author visibility, mistakes published authors make while showing up online, the three things you need before you start posting, and lastly, types of content that convert to sales. We've taken so much time, so I'll try to rush through. Sorry. So the next one, the lies keeping your book invisible. The first one is, if I post my book cover enough times, people will buy. That is a lie. Because posting your book cover is just announcing. Like I said earlier, you may think that once you post the book cover, the heavens will open and then people will rush at your book like by magic, and everyone will just jump at it and everyone will just buy it and start reading it. No. Book book posting your book cover is just announcing, you're just informing people that, oh guys, I have a new book and this is what it's about. It is not marketing. There's a critical difference between the two. In fact, for marketing, people must have come across that content or that post or that information at least 7 times before they will make a buying decision. So you can see that you have a long way to go. The journey is still far, because people need to come across it several times, and for each time they come across it, you need to trigger different emotions in them before they now finally say, oh, I've been seeing this thing has been speaking to me, let me finally buy. I have people that I bought courses from them this year, or I patronize them for a service, that I've been on their email list, or been following them on Instagram for at least 3 years before now, even on their WhatsApp status, and I've not gotten anything until something triggered me to, a need triggered me to, or so it takes time. So announcing your book just once is not enough, or posting your cover alone is not enough. It is not marketing, it is just announcing. You're just passing an information across. That's all. The second one is sorry. The second one is I need thousands of followers before I can sell. That is also a lie. I've seen people with 40, I've seen people with books sell to 40 people. I've seen authors with books I've seen authors sell books to 40 people with under 200 followers, 400 followers. You do not necessarily need you do not necessarily need a large following, because sometimes you may even have a large audience, a large following, and then you still won't sell. Because if you pack up 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 crowd that are not your ideal readers, that are not interested in your book, it's useless. Someone with 5K followers, of ghost followers, or people who are not interested in the book he or she has written, won't sell won't sell that book, compared to someone who has just 500 followers, and then the person has at least 40 out of 500 followers, or even 100 or even 20 that are genuinely interested in that book. So you can see the difference between two. You need actual people, like readers, that are actually interested in the book and that will make a buying decision. No matter how many people, it's like just going to people who are living close to a river and then offering them water. They do not need that water, when in fact you should change your environment completely. So you are marketing to the wrong people who don't even need what you've written. They are not even interested. They don't even like reading. They've never even opened any book since the last time they finished university. So it's just you wasting your time, basically. So also another myth is my book will speak for itself. No, your book will not automatically speak for itself, no matter how beautiful, how impactful, how interesting your story is, how valuable your message and your lesson is, how no matter how well packaged, how detailed, how valuable the content of your book is, it will not sell itself. And that's why you notice sometimes there are some. Have you ever watched? Please let me know in the comment section. Have you ever watched a movie that has been marketed all over? Like it has gotten so many hype, and then you watch that movie because people have been talking about it, and then you realize that, oh, this movie is not actually, it's not worth the hype. And then you see some other movies that are way much better than it, but nobody is even watching. Why? Because the bad one, or the mid or the average one, got more visibility than the actual good one. And which one will be watched the most? The one with the higher visibility. Unless people now say, oh, this one with the lower visibility, we like it, and then they now start talking about it. But at that point, when people start talking about it, it is also visibility. So until your good product gets visibility, until your good product gets, yeah, exactly, thank you. So you can have a very good product and nobody knows about it. And that's what I always say. Something else I always say again is, your book should not be your best kept secret. Your book should not be your best kept secret. You've written a good book, you've invested money in it, and it should not be your best kept secret. Because as long as it's your best kept secret, nobody will know. If you yourself, you are not talking about it, if it doesn't have visibility, there is no way anyone will know about it. There are still more myths surrounding, more mistakes, more myths surrounding that authors have, but we'll go into that more in the paid bootcamp session. Like things authors spend their money on, like advertising, etc. And then it won't convert to sales, because you've not even treated some basics, basically. So meet like when you pay huge influencers, or when you pay for advertising, because you can even do all of these things to people who even have the audience, but if it is not your audience, it will still not convert into sales for you because they are not your audience. So now we are moving on to the mistakes published authors make online. The mistakes published authors make online. Okay, we're on the same page. Cool. First one, skipping the foundation. I touched on that briefly. I said we'll talk more on it in the July bootcamp. So, mistakes published authors make online. First one, skipping the foundation. If you've not defined your audience, your readers, you've not defined your brand, you don't have any strategy, you just woke up and started posting. I saw one post that said most founders don't have a content plan or content team. They just rely on prayers. Just prayer, just woke up and then you start posting and just hoping that, let's just hope. Let's just hope anything. You're just winging it. So without the foundation, consistency is just noise. You can be consistent doing the wrong thing. Let me try to be writing this nuggets that I'm saying. Let me try to write it down. You can be consistent doing, or someone else can write it for me, please, so I don't what is it called? You can be consistent doing the wrong thing. You can be consistent. Can someone write in the chat box for me, please? You can be consistent with the wrong thing. You can be posting the wrong thing over and over and over and over again, and you are consistent with it. Oh, you can't hear me. Okay. Sorry, can you hear me now? What about now? Can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Okay. I asked someone to write in the comment section for me, please. The last thing I said, that you can be consistent doing the wrong thing. Yeah. Okay. So if you don't have a content strategy, if you've not established your audience, if you've not defined your brand, if you've not written out a strategy, you will just realize that you are posting, because you can come online every day posting quotes, posting cover, posting, and then you are just talking into the void. You are just talking to a wall, literally. And you are doing it every day, every day, every day. That's just wasted efforts, basically, because you've skipped the foundation, you've not established who is the actual reader. I'm not saying someone living in Lagos, a Nigerian. No, that is not your specific reader. Who is the specific who is the specific person that will need to read this book? Okay, I'll still talk more about I wanted to yeah, I'll still talk more about, so let me draw too much on it now. So the next one, promotional content. Some people just post buy my book, like the things they every of their sales is just screaming buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. When people feel you are selling too much, you should sell in a way that people won't even feel you are selling to them. They call something subtle marketing. Like, yeah, it's subtle. It's not, you're not shouting at people, you're not screaming at people. If everything you are posting is 100% promotions, just buy my book, my book is on Amazon now, my book is on seller, my paper copy is in Abuja now, it's in UK, it's in, and that's just the only thing you are doing, people will tune out, readers will tune out. So you should make it balanced. 40% education. Educational is, you are teaching them values from your book. If your book is about productivity, yeah, all of these beautiful things that you've written that will change the lives of people in your book. Start bringing it out as excerpts. Start bringing out excerpts from it. Make it into divide it into small topics and teach people. Then 40% story. Share your story with people. Beginning of this workshop, now I shared my story. If you followed me for a while, some of these, I'll name some of these things that are very, like, people know by now. One of the common things about my brand story is that I published my book at the age of 14 while in SS2. It is that I started reading, it is that I started writing from my dad's library. So these are some of the stories. So repeat your story to the point that even your audience know your story. We have some popular people like that that you know their story. For like Fela Durotoye now, Tara Durotoye. Tara Durotoye. Everyone knows she started a makeup brand through her stepmom. She learnt about makeup. She was first introduced to makeup from her stepmom. People have brand stories. So share your stories, and when you share some of these stories, it helps people to relate to you. It humanizes you. It moves you away from someone who just comes online to say buy my book. It helps people to know, oh, this person is a real person. Oh, this person is working 9 to 5 like I work 9 to 5. Oh, this person grew up in Ibadan the same way I grew up in Ibadan. Oh, this person is oh, this person had to write jump 3 times too. And because of that, because if people know your backstory, it helps them to be able to connect to your message. Again, it has to do with stories that relate to your brand. I won't come on here to start saying, oh, I'm the child of a single mom. I'm not child of a single mom, by the way, but like I won't come on here and start saying I'm child of a single mom or something. It does not relate to anything we are doing here. So stories that connect to your book, to the message of the book you are promoting at the moment. So you share stories so people can relate to it. So it can trigger emotion. There's sometimes when you read some stories and then you'll be inspired, you'll be spurred. I was in church today and then we have to read a Bible verse passage about a king in Israel, Uzziah. I think that's the first time I'll be hearing about that story, and I love Bible stories a lot. And it ended with the fact that the king started in a very good way and then he ended on a wrong note because he became proud and everything. And then the next prayer point was we should pray about humility. People started praying. I even went on my knees to pray. Why? Because I was touched by the story. So that is the same effect, that's the same emotion that your stories can evoke from people as well. When you share stories, people cry while reading books or watching. That's the reason why you cry when you watch a movie, or you get angry at a villain in a story, because it has evoked an emotion in you. So that's how powerful stories are. Then 20% promotional. So you can see promotional content is even what, 20%. And when you do all of this right, you realize that the sales may not start coming in immediately, because like I said, it takes time for people to buy from you. People may need to see you over and over and over again, but you'll be able to attract, when you do all of these things over and over. Number one, you attract them, they become aware of your product, they become aware of your product. Then after then you gain their trust. They'll be able to trust you enough to listen to you, to start considering buying from you, and then eventually they will buy from you. So it takes time, but when all of these things are done rightly, but when you now don't do any of this and then you just focus on only one, something, the promotional content that should be 20%, you make it 100%. And that's just where you see that that's a problem already. That's a mistake already. And unfortunately, a lot of authors do this. They come online, they just post, my book is now available, buy it, 50% discount. Even if 50% discount, even if it's 50% discount, if people don't see the need to buy it, if you've not convinced them enough that this is truly what you need to move you from point A to point B, people will not make a buying decision. The third one is showing up then disappearing. You may have authors who today they are posting and then the next one they just go off for a month. And I worked with an author. I don't know if she's on this call. I worked with an author, and I recently had to come to her DM because I was pained, because I worked on the pre-launch phase, and I was like, why don't you why are you not posting? I was very angry about it. Now why are you not posting? And the person just went offline, off, like just went off, stopped promoting. Person just went off, stopped promoting the book and everything, just went off. For some it may be because some will tell you, oh, I don't know how to do this content thing. And I don't know what to say. I've run out of ideas. I'm blank. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to write next. I don't know what to say next. But the fact remains that for as long as you go off, you become, people forget you, basically. That out of sight, out of mind. That's the thing. Because the more you show up, because you even need to do times seven of it for people to even remember you. People have so many things dragging their attention online. The minute they don't see people, the minute they don't see you, they've shifted, they moved their attention to the next trending thing online. Because you even have to fight for that visibility in the first place, and then you come today, and then you leave for another 3 months or another 3 weeks, and then you know and then you go off. So from my experience with working with people, from with working with authors, there has been those who turn things around. They did one thing differently. They stopped broadcasting, they stopped announcing to people, making announcements, and started connecting one on one with readers, potential readers, ideal readers. So in the paid boot camp, in the July boot camp, we are going to work on fixing all of these details one after the other. That is the first one, which is the foundation to work on. Okay, what do we need to do? Who is your ideal reader? What is your brand exactly? Which message are you passing across? Which strategy will work best for your book? Who do we talk to? Are we talking to a 25-year-old woman living specifically in Lagos, or who just relocated to UK? We are going to break that down in the July bootcamp. And we're also going to look at, okay, let me have your stories at first. Like, let me have your stories first, rather. Let me have your story. What is the story behind? For authors that I work with, I ask them, what prompted you to write this story? What is the journey? What prompted you? Did something happen to you? Did you come across something, or is it that you learned this thing? Like, what is the backstory to this thing? I'll also ask them to share, or to share, for authors that I've worked with. Sometimes I buy the books with my own money just so I can read the book myself, or they may share with me. If it's pre-launch, they may share with me, and I'll go through the book and bring out little subtopics, educational content that can be used from the book. So we will look at your book together. Okay, what can we break into a carousel post? What can we break into a reel? What can we break into a post that people be like, yes, this person is talking to me. Yes, I can relate to this. What can we turn into educational content, valuable content for your audience? Which of your stories can we share with your audience? And then how do we now directly ask for sale? That's the last 20%. And then the third one here, how do you show up consistently? How do we fix the problem of you coming online today, posting, and then tomorrow you are gone? How do we ensure that you have a content calendar that details: Monday, this is where you post; Tuesday, you are posting this; Thursday, you are posting this. A clear direction on what to post at each time, so you are no longer blank or at loss on what to do. So the next thing we have on our slide is, before you post a single thing, do these three things. The first is know your reader. I believe I've emphasized so much on this previously. For fiction, who reads your genre? What do they binge on? What breaks their heart? Is it the kind of people, if you are writing, people read books for different reasons. Some people read books because they are overwhelmed. Some read books because they are depressed. Some read books because they just want a relief from maybe they've had a long week. It's the same way you watch films, movies, and the same way you read books as well. Ask yourself, why do you read some of the books you read, or why do you watch some of the shows you watch? Sometimes you've had a long week, and then during the weekend you just want to relax. You just want something that takes your mind away from reality. You don't want you don't want to be bothered about the news of anything happening. You just want escapism. You just want to escape to this world. That's the reason why some people read fiction. And when you understand this, you'll be able to speak to them based on that need that they have. That, oh, if you've worked for 60 hours or through this week, and you want to rest and you just want to lay your head back and just be lost in a world, in a fantasy world, or if you love solving crimes and thriller. Some people have this interest in crime thriller books or stories where they just want to go on adventure, or they want to feel like they are solving a crime with one detective. So you need to know what they binge on, what breaks their hearts. Is it the death of a favorite character? Is it that you need to know what breaks their hearts. You need to know what makes them happy. Is it when there's an happy ending, like romance? For people who like ending, of course you recommend romance. Your romance book is for them. They just want a sitcom, a cute sitcom where they just sit down and then they just watch and there's an happy ending. And some people don't like it I don't like happy endings personally. Some people don't like when there's an happy end. Some people just want something where you know it's an heartbreak story. That's what works for some people. And if it's non-fiction, what problems keeps them up at night? What have they already tried and failed? What keeps them up at at 12 a.m.? What do they search on Google when they are searching on Google for an answer to a problem? What is the topmost problem in their minds? Maybe the person is a single mom and the person needs help, or the person needs, help basically in written form on how best to on how best to balance single motherhood and work together, or how to stay productive, or so you need to know what is the problem. You need to know what is the problem your reader is what is the problem your reader has. What keeps your reader up at night? What have they already tried? Have they tried several books and it hasn't worked? Have they tried therapy? Have they tried counseling? And these are the things that you need to know, because when you now start writing your hook and your messaging to say, oh, you've tried therapy, you've gone for counseling, you've even tried you've tried self-discipline, you've tried you mention some of the things they've tried. And because you've thought about this thing, that what are the things that this person has tried, when you're now saying it, it seems like, oh, is this person living in the same apartment with me? How come this person knows exactly what's happening with me? Because you've done your homework, because you've done your research. Maybe the person is trying to lose weight, or maybe the person is trying to gain confidence, and then you say something like, oh, I know every time someone wants to okay, you can say, let's say your book is about public speaking and confidence. You can say, you are talented, you are smart, but for every time when you're in a meeting or in a gathering or at work, you always have the best ideas, but you can't open your mouth to say it. I saw it, I heard this, by the way, from a public speaking coach, and I really liked that hook. She was like, you are in your board meeting, you have brilliant ideas, but you don't have the confidence to say it, because you may not sound as smart as other people, and then you keep quiet. And someone with a less innovative idea compared to what you have, the person opens their mouth, person speaks fluently, and then person gets all the applause and the play and the praise from the room. And then you have a better idea in your mind, but you can't say it because you are scared you will mumble your words, you are scared people will laugh at you, you don't know how your words will come out. everything I'm saying, this person is touching my pain points. If I truly have this problem and this person should say, oh, this book is what will solve your problem, because this person has accurately defined my pain point, this person has accurately defined the current situation that I'm in. Of course, anything they want, anything they ask me to do, any amount, I'll pay it to get the solution, because I believe this person gets me. Oh, finally, this person relates to my pain. This person knows what I'm facing. And that's what happens when you do your homework thoroughly to know your ideal reader. The second is clarify your author identity. Know that you are not just an author. Like, don't just say I'm an author. Like, you are a specific kind of author. You have a specific story, you have a specific perspective. That specific story is your brand. It is what makes people follow you, not just buy from you. For me now, again, people who have been following me for a while know that I started writing at this age. That is my specific story. I started very early, and I started early because I was reading books from my dad's library, and I wanted to write my own version of the stories I was reading. These are specific stories. We may have few people that may have this kind of story, but this exact journey is specific to me, and that is my superpower. That is what makes me different from every other person, because I have a specific story. I have a specific genre that I write. Though I've written fiction, I've written non-fiction, but I'm a specific kind of author. I write to a young audience. As of now, I don't know, it may change maybe in 30 years time when I'm 50 or something, but the Adragbemi of today writes to young people, people between the ages of 15 to 25, people who are in their late teens and who are young adults. Those are my target audience. And also people and who love reading literature books, stories about didactic stories, not just stories, didactic stories. That's the stories that teaches morals. Those That is the specific kind of author that I am. I'm not You won't find me writing a book for single moms or writing a book for new moms. That is not It is not my niche. So you need to clarify your author identity. You need to know who you truly are. And knowing that becomes your author identity. It becomes your own brand. That is what makes people follow you. Some people just follow you because, oh, this person studied law, oh, this person did this. Then the third one, choose your platform. You don't have to be on every platform. You don't have to be the master of all, jack of none. You don't have to 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 break yourself, try to split yourself into five platforms at once. You're on LinkedIn, you're trying to stay consistent on LinkedIn, you're trying to stay consistent on Facebook, you're trying to stay consistent on Instagram, you're trying to stay consistent on TikTok. Of course you will wear out. So for someone who is just starting newly, I always advise, start with Instagram or TikTok first, whichever one you've been using previously, that you understand how it works already. You understand how to make reels on it, you understand how to make carousels on it or slides on it, you understand how to post on it, you understand how that platform works, how to speak on it, what works on platform. And then of course everyone has WhatsApp, which is our communication platform. Most people in Africa, as we have WhatsApp, so we can just pick one or two, just pick at least two platforms and start with that. Don't try to do it all at once. So the next one. Okay, thank you so much for your question. Okay, no problem, I'll answer it after we are done. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, and thank you for following. Yeah. Okay, so the next slide is content that actually sells your books. We have first story content. I've talked about story earlier. I said story is people want to know your story, people want to know the backstory. People want to know you. They want to know the person behind. They want to know the person behind the book, the author. They want to get to know you, so they want to know why you wrote it. I've talked about this earlier, why you wrote the book. What prompted you to write the book? Is it that this thing happened to you and then you are writing it so it doesn't happen to someone else? You want to save someone else from making the same mistakes that you made? What did it cost you? What did it cost you to I'll share a story. What did it cost you? I'll share a story with the first 2 points. Then what did you learn with this journey? What has this journey taught you? This writing and publishing journey, what did you learn along the line? And all of this builds trust before the sale. And as an example, you can have for fiction, a fiction writer to say, this scene made me cry writing it. Maybe after you've published the book, you've released it, or even while you are still waiting to release the book, can say, while I was in chapter 6 and I had to write about my main character losing her only parent, her dad, who has been with her, who has been a single father and has been taking care of her since the age of 2, when her mother abandoned her, or after her mother died. And after, when I got to this scene where I had to write this emotional part where she lost the only parent she has left, I broke into tears and I started crying. It will make someone else be like, oh wow, if the author could break into tears and start crying at this point, it will make me want to also read that part too as well. Want to get the book as well so I can read it, so I can feel the same emotion that the author felt too as well. It makes me interested in the book. For non-fiction, for a non-fiction writer, it can be the moment I knew I had to write this was after I saw my niece who recently bought and won lots of money, and then he gambled all the money away. That was when I realized I had to write a book on finance management, basics of finance management. So what prompted you to write the book? I have a client, and I'll share a story. So for my client, for my client for our why she wrote her own book, she mentioned she's a pastor's wife. So for her, I'm going to share for one client and then for another client as well. So for her, um the reason why she wrote the book is she was in a program, I think a women's program. She was sharing things about self-care. She was sharing teachings about self-care. And then when she kept talking about it, she realized that, oh, this will actually make a book good material. And that was what prompted her to write the book. Along the way, while she was writing her book, okay, for her second book, she has another book for her second book, Dealing with Spirit of Discouragement. While she was writing this book, her laptop just had a glitch, and then she lost everything. She lost the manuscript, everything that she has written, she lost it. And she was so discouraged. She was like, where will she start from this book that she has been writing and everything? She lost the manuscript. But she said God now told her, she's a pastor, like I said. She said God now told her that, what's the title of this book you are trying to write? She said, Dealing with Spirit of Discouragement. So it is a lesson for you. You've just encountered a discouraging situation. What do you do next? You need to practice what you are writing. And then she picked up a pen and started writing all over again. And she said this second version was even richer and much more valuable than the first one. And that is what she experienced. And we've used all of this as content. All of these things I'm saying, we've put it into content to share with our audience. There's also another client of mine that I worked with as well. She recently released a book, Fortified. She shared her origin story. I always ask authors, what is your origin story? She shared her why story. Her why story is that as a young girl, when she was growing up, she didn't know what she wanted out of life. She was confused. Fine, people were saying go to church, be a good girl, this and that. But at some point, she just sat back and was like, what is the truth? There are sometimes that you just sit back and be like, and you think deeply about your life, like why am I here, what am I doing here, what is my purpose, and start asking all of those questions, personal questions, started asking herself those personal questions. So that is our own origin story. And then said, if you've ever had a situation where you sat down, everything looks bleak, and you are wondering, what am I doing here? What is my purpose? If you have a form of, I won't say identity crisis, but like you start questioning your identity, if you can relate to something like that, then of course you want to read that book, because oh, I can actually relate to what this author is talking about. So that is our own origin story. So what did it cost you? What did you learn while writing the book, or what did that experience teach you? So you say, oh, while writing the book, I learned that I should be relentless, or I learned because, or if it's even fiction, it may even be fiction, and then to say while writing the book, I had to go and make lots of research. I had to go and ask, I had to go to villages or meet women in my family to research about this thing, or meet doctors, or meet students in their final year. What did you learn? What did this process cost you? All of these stories, you don't keep them to yourself. You make them into content and you share, because people want to hear this story. These are stories that will attract people to you. Then we have the educational content. Share what's in your book in small doses. I've been saying this a lot. You see that most of these things are the same. I'm just repeating the same thing over and over again, because it is it that's actually that's actually like, that's just it. Pick things from your book, share it in small doses. You can make several content ideas from your book if you sit down. For me, when I read a book, I'm looking at, oh, this will make a post, this will make a real content, this will make a carousel content, this will make, I can even use this to make two types of I can even use this to make two types of posts. Yeah. So that's it. So that's what I think about when I make that's what I think about when I make my when I'm working on books, when I make my post. I can bring out as many post content as much as possible. So you bring them out, let people know, because you may just keep sharing the cover. Oh, we've seen that the cover is beautiful. Congratulations, which is very nice. Feed our eyes with the cover. I'm not saying that is wrong. Show us the cover, but also let us know what is in the book, what to expect in the book. What do you have in the book? Just bring out a little portion of it, turn it into a content idea, and then now say, this is an excerpt from my book. This part that you just read is an excerpt from my book. If you love this, you will definitely love if you love this, you will definitely love the entire book, because this is just a bit. It's like the same way if you want to buy suya now, an Hausa guy will do what? He will give you tasting. So yes, give your audience, give your readers tasting. First of all, deliver value from your book from time to time. If you've established that your specific audience is let's say, if you've established that your specific audience is a young girl in secondary school, or a young girl in her final year, or a young graduate in in final year, who is looking out to gaining scholarship for either masters or volunteer experience, if you've established the current state of your reader, it becomes easier for you to create content. And not just to create content, not just to create content from your own book alone, you even be able to create other contents for them that you know will be valuable to them. If you're someone who wrote a book about career opportunities or something like that, you can easily come online and say, because you've established who your ideal audience is, who your ideal reader is, you can now come online to say UN opportunities for young people between the ages of 20 to 25, or or job opportunities job opportunities from people for people between for fresh graduates. You can start sharing job opportunities for them, links, etc, because you know it will benefit your reader. So for fiction, it can be three things I learned about grief from my character. Like the example I made earlier, while you said you broke down, while you were talking, while you were writing about your character who lost a only parent that has been taking care of her, a single parent that has taken care of her since age 2. So you can now write, can now bring out a content idea from um what I learned, three things I learned about grief from my character, or three stereotypes that women face in today's world, or young women. So you can now bring points out because you've understood what's in your book. So as much as you are bringing things out, you can bring excerpts from your books to teach us. You can bring related content as well to teach us. For nonfiction, one mindset shift from this chapter: things that benefit your reader. Another one is social proof. I'll have to rush because it's 22. Okay. Social proof. We have social proof. Screenshots, reviews, reactions, reader DMs. Let others sell for you. In fact, the best way to sell something is to let others sell for you. And for you to be able to do that, and that's why sometimes I advise authors, if you are planning to publish your book before, and that's reason why marketing should start before you even publish your book. Get better readers, better readers, people who can read your book. Just share with a couple of friends or people who read books, to ask them, read this book and review for me. I do that for some of my books that I've released from my previous books. I'll ask them to review the book. Then I'll ask them, please can you get your picture? I'll put it in design form, like carousel form, or I can even pay a graphic designer to do that for me, or I can do it myself using Canva. Put it in design form and then say Adura Agbemi with my picture and my review from it. People believe things more when someone like them they believe the words of other people more. If someone like them should say, "Oh, I read the book, it's very nice and that and everything," I want, "Oh, this person has read the book, I want to try it out too." So people, even if it's just one real testimonial that you can get from a family friend, from a sibling, from someone else who reads, like someone you met in a book community, it outperforms 10 promotional posts. Person can even make a video for you and say, "Oh guys, I just finished reading so book by this person and this is what I learned from me." So person can even make a carousel post and collaborate with you on Instagram on it. Testimonials. So social proof, it goes a long way. Then behind the scenes, you want to show your writing space, your process, your doubts, your edits. Again, this relates to your story content as well. What happened behind the scenes? Readers buy authors they feel they know. People buy more from, and that's why we have influencers, some of these influencers. The reason why you buy for some of them is because you know their stories. When they wake up in the morning, they carry you on a journey with them. They say, "Hey guys, I just woke up, I'm going to this." So you feel you're a part of their community already. In fact, they call you besties, you are their bestie. So if they come to you later to sell something to you, because you feel like you're a part of their journey already. So when you carry readers along in your writing process, or people even want to know, how do you manage your 9 to 5? That thing that you feel is not so important to your readers may actually now be the number one thing that will make you relatable to them. They may want to know, how are you managing your 9 to 5? How are you blending everything together? So 40% educational, like I said earlier, 40% story slash connection, and 20% promotional post. So quickly, let's go to the next one. People don't buy books, they buy emotions, they buy feelings. Every piece of content should trigger at least one of these emotions: curiosity, I need to know what happens next. They've read a bit, your synopsis, a synopsis from your book. And for my book kind, for everyone that has read the synopsis, they've been like, I want to know what happens next. Like, what happens then? What happens between them? Do they eventually get married? What happens next? And that's what most novels do as well. They'll give you a suspenseful synopsis. They'll leave you on a cliffhanger. So people want to know. Sometimes people want to know what happens next. Recognition. This author is describing exactly what I feel. I was talking about the one about was it about weight loss or something, that you've tried so many things and it's not working. You've written out everything that they've tried and you're like, is this person in the same room with me? You've described the exact thing they are facing. You are discouraged, you are not confident, you have the best ideas but you don't know how to open your mouth to say it. These are all emotions that they can recognize. Aspiration as well. If I read this, I'll become something, because they've seen the results. You are selling a you've sold a transformation to them, and they know that when they read this, they will become that thing as well. So you can sell the transformation to them. Oh, when you wear this shoe, sorry, oh, when you buy this book, I was using another marketing example. When you buy this book, you become the most confident person in a room. You become the most vocal person in a room. You will be fit. You'll be physically fit. You can you'll be so fit that you can walk 300 meters without having to stop in between, without feeling so tired. You can run through your stairs, your office stairs. They've sold you a final feeling that you have after reading the book. Then F FOMO as well, fear of missing out. Everyone is talking about this book. That's something that happened with movies too. Sometimes the book may not even be as good as that. It's like I'm not saying this book is not good. I'm just saying an example. Femi Otedola's book. Everyone has been talking about it. People are making videos about it. So you may want to read it too as well, because why people are talking about it. And that is what testimonial does. If you have 10 people, only 10 people that are bringing out testimonials for you in written text form, in video form, it seems like, oh, everyone I know is reading this book. It can't be so bad if everyone is saying it's good. Let me try it out myself. Then also trust as well. You've shown your knowledge, you've shown your experience, you people now know that, oh, this person, because you've shown bits from this book, you've shown your experience, people know that, oh, this person actually knows what she's talking about. This person, you don't need to be an expert, like licensed expert, but like you've shared some reasonable things, you've shared content, valuable content, like, oh, this person knows what they are talking about. They trust you enough to part with their money because you've shown that you know this thing, you know your onions about this book. You've shared few stories with them from the book, and they're like, oh, I love the way this person writes. I trust her enough to want to buy a book and to read the entire book. Then urgency. When you make people have an urgent feeling that I need this now, not later, now. When you make them feel, if they don't do it now, if they don't buy the book now, they will remain the same way. They'll remain the same way they'll be, and it's they will remain the same way they are. They What do they lose? You make them see, oh, if I don't buy this book now, I'm going to lose this. What if I don't buy this book now, I'll still be in this same state that I'm in. I'll still lack confidence when I get to the office tomorrow. I still won't be able to make any contribution during tomorrow's speech. In fact, we have a type of content that I use for my clients. We reverse engineer. We do reverse engineer to trigger emotion. You'll be like, this book is not for you if maybe you don't want to be productive, you like being insulted by people, you like being looked down on. It is a reverse engineer process, which is something I do for my clients all the time with their books. Something I use for my clients' books, people I work with. So I am describing the pain, what you will lose by not reading the book. You are missing out. What you are missing out, I'm describing it exactly. And because I've described that, it triggers the right emotions in them. They don't want to become that person. They know that is what they will lose by not reading the book, and because of that, they will turn around. It will convert into sales, and they will buy your book basically. So that's another concept idea as well, to reverse engineer your post to trigger the right emotion in them. So your story bank, like I said, I always ask for stories from clients. You have, so these are story banks. If I were you, I'll just take a screenshot. um so the origin story, why you wrote the book, I've mentioned this, why you wrote the book at all, the moment it became necessary, what is the turning point, what happened exactly. I said, I need to put this thing into a book, I need to write this story, I need to write about this experience. The struggle story, what almost stopped you from finishing or publishing it. I mentioned the story about my clients. Oh, thank you so much, Ezekiel. I mentioned the story about my client who who had a manuscript loss. everything just went off while she was writing the book, and then she got discouraged and had to now start all over again. So what did you experience? Did your publisher disappoint you? What was your experience? What was the struggle behind the story, the reader's story as well? How someone's life changed after reading your book, or how someone's life changed from the principle that you included in your book. Maybe you've tried this, you've experimented this principle on a real person. How did it change their life? How did it impact their life? So when you're sharing the story about an impact that your book has made, it helps people to trust you more. This is social proof again. It helps people to trust you more. Then we have the behind the scene. What happened what happened behind the scene? Was there a chapter that you almost deleted but now turned out to be your best chapter? Was there an edit that like you were working on and then it broke you and then you started crying, or you had to start all over again? What happened behind the scene? Or were there times that you had to stay back at work to finish this book, or you had to miss parties of family members, events of family members just so you can finish the book? What happened behind the scene? Then the expertise story. What do you know that most people in your space don't know yet? What is related to the book that you've written? Five things stopping young women from achieving their full potential or from locking into their full potential. What is what are the lessons and the value from your book that you know that when you share this to the common man? What I mean by common man is someone who doesn't have the level of knowledge that you have, that when you share it to them, what is that thing that you know is not so common? It can You can couch it as unpopular truth, or truth I would tell you if I don't want to hurt your, if I was not scared of hurting your feelings. Propaganda I don't believe in as the author of so, and then you now say the things that you don't believe in based on your book, based on the lessons from your book. Then process story too. What it actually looks like to write, edit, and publish. Did you almost go crazy? Did you almost lose your mind? How did you raise money? So all of these things. And during the boot camp, the July boot camp, we'll build a full story bank, 30 plus ideas mapped for your specific book, so you never have to run out of content idea again. We sit down with you and we look at, okay, what is your story? Share all of these stories, and then we now make as many content as possible from it. So this is just a tip of the iceberg, basically. So what happens when you stop hiding? From what I've observed working with authors directly, for the authors who stopped posting covers, started sharing the story behind our book, within 3 weeks, we started getting DMs from complete strangers asking about the book, making inquiries, people getting more interested, following increasing, engagement increasing, because now you are sharing stories that they can relate to it. They can relate to it. Stories that triggers emotions in them. Then the author with 400 followers, like I mentioned to as well, people who have used WhatsApp correctly to, because you can use WhatsApp to ask a friend to repost for you, to section people, and these are all of these things that we will touch on in the bootcamp as well. How you can use your existing what is it called, your existing contact to reach much more people. What you need to say when you are sending the script out to them, what you need to say when you are sending this invitation out to them, the exact words, the exact scripts that you use for your story to share to them. And using all of this, they've able to sell after implementation, make sales basically, also get people to be more aware of our books, more aware, come to more awareness about the book. So that, and that is what happens with visibility. It is having direction and guide, about knowing what to say, when to say it, how to say it. Okay, what do I post first now? Should I post about my story first? Should I post about the behind the scene content? Should I post about it? How do I couch it? What do I say exactly? Having all of that direction and knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it to evoke, okay, when I say this, this is the impact of this is the effect, this is the emotion that this triggers. Yeah. Okay. So these are our finally our last slide. So the author visibility bootcamp, like I've been mentioning, I've been talking about bootcamp. It's coming up in July, and this is a preview of it. It's a 4 weeks intensive training bootcamp for published authors who are done being invisible. We will be looking at your brand first of all, your own identity and your brand. Who are you? Why are you online? What are you working on? What is the type of book that you are, like your book? What is it about? We want to establish you as a brand, as an author brand, because at the end of the day, you are building a brand. You are building an author brand. I this is a visibility and branding visible and branding bootcamp. You are building your own brand, because and when you build this, when you do this correctly, when you do this correctly, you realize that it opens lots of opportunities to you, because you've now become an expert in this topic. You've shared more of your knowledge about this topic. People can now reach out to you to say, oh, can you come to our webinar about this topic? We see that you have a book on this, and it opens doors for you basically. But no one will know that you can teach on it, or that you can speak on that topic, or that you've even written a book related to that topic if you are not visible. So it is from the part that you are visible, you started showing up online, started talking about it. Now people get to know more about what you do, and they can easily reach out to you and say, oh, Tolu, I'm working on this, and I know you have a book on this, you've been speaking on this. Can you come and speak? Can you come and teach us on this? It opens doors for you, basically. So you need to identify your author brand. What will be your on your Instagram bio? What will be on your LinkedIn bio? What should you write on your bio? How should you introduce yourself? How should you introduce your book? Who is your book for? Then by week two, we move on to who are you talking to? We need to find and understand your specific readers. Again, specificity is very important to find out and understand your specific readers. Then by week three, we'll be moving to what do you say at each time? Content that attracts, educates, and converts. What do you say at each time? Which content do you put forward to attract people, to educate, and to convert your readers? What do you say at each point? Then the last one, how do you sell? Because after you've worked on content to convert, to attract, and educate your readers, how do you sell to them? How do you sell to them? How do you make your sale? What do you use as your call to action? How do you turn this audience that you've gotten, that you've attracted? Because like I said, it takes time for people to buy from you, right? So after you've gathered them, how do you how do you buy? How do you make them buy from you? And also, so after we do all of that, we'll be having a 30 days, like I mentioned earlier, 30 days content ideas file where you have all of your stories, your content. We're going to put everything together, and then I'm going to personally check through everything, work with you through what you have existing, your personal stories, and now we can make them into that sell, content that sell online, content that attracts your ideal reader, and then now turn them into buyers. So how do we make all of these stories that you have? How do we bring out content from your book itself? How do we turn it into what attracts readers and then also make them buy? So and also for the first five people who decide to take part in the boot camp, we'll also be having one-on-one clarity call for the first five people. This is a paid service, but for the first five people, we'll be having one-on-one for free, one-on-one call where we sit down and then we break all this down like a one-on-one call, clarity call, and that will give you more opportunity to even know much more. We dig more into how do you present your book to people, how do you present your messaging, the messaging of your book. to people. So your book deserves to be read. You just need to show up for it. Like I always say, your book should not be your best kept secret. Your book should not be your best kept secret. You've invested a lot in your book. You've invested a lot of time, energy into publishing and writing and editing this book. You've spent lots of sleepless nights working on this book. There have been so many times you've missed some events. You've sacrificed so many things. You've denied yourself of so many things, basically, just for you to bet this book, for you to bring this book to life. And then this book is out, nobody knows about it. Even the people you wrote this book for are not even aware that you've written this book. They are not aware that this book exists. And that's that's sad. That's like the most terrible thing that can happen. So your book shouldn't be your best kept secret. It shouldn't be hidden under it shouldn't be hidden. It should You need to show up. Your book deserves to be read by the people that you've written it for, the exact people that you've written it for. And in July we will go deep into how to stop being invisible, how to stop hiding, how to start coming, how to know what to say. Because for some people, it's not that they don't want to be visible. It's not like they don't want to show up for their books. Of course, they've worked so hard on this book. So why wouldn't they want to put in their time and attention to make this work? But because they don't even know what to say, that's just why they've been silent. So by in July, we'll be working through how to stop being invisible, how to start building a community that actually buys your book. And I want you to be a part of this. I want you to be part of the boot camp. You can join the waitlist. I've edited the description. So if you go to the description, there is a link for the waitlist. There's a link for the waitlist in the description that you can join the waitlist group. Please do that because all through this period from now until July, I'll be I'll be waiting for you to share any takeaway that you have, any exercises that we've done. And you can always share that because, of course, I'm on the group. It's a WhatsApp group, and I'm on the group. So you can always share that your exercises that you've done based on the few things that we've touched on today. Not even few, so many things that because we've touched on so many things today. Based on the things that we've touched on today, if you've crafted any story that you've crafted, you can always share it with me on the waitlist group. So that will be the waitlist group for the bootcamp. If you check on the description to this live, you see the link. I've edited it, I've added the link to it. Or you can send bootcamp to me on Instagram at Adragbemi. You can send bootcamp to me so I can on my Instagram page, and so I can share with you in case you can't find the link in the description box, in the description. It is, to be honest, it is not rose. It is not, like I said, it's not something that will happen by magic, that the heavens will open and then readers will start pouring it. No, it takes time. You need to post, you need to come up with content, you need to show up, you need to share stories. But when you do it right, I can promise you, when you do it right, people get to know about your book. People will know about your book. Your book will get to the readers that really need your book, that really need the message, either the fantasy, the escapism, the fun, the humor that comes with your book, or the lessons that comes with your book. If it's non-fiction, people need your book. And when you put in the work, it is work. It is work. And when you put in this work, you will surely read, you will surely yield reap the rewards for it. And it's not just the rewards won't be just be readers buying your book. Like I said, you are building a brand. So think beyond just one book. Think, I want you to open your mind beyond a single book. As much as you are promoting this book, showing up online helps you to build your own author brand because you will still write more books here. It helps you to okay. It helps you to All right, okay. I'm going to answer this again. Well, I'm going to answer this now. I'm going to answer this now. So it helps you to build your brand and open the door to much more opportunities. and open the door to much more opportunities for you. So to answer your question, let me answer your question before we go on. Our your question is okay. For your platform, do you need to create a page while building an auto brand or keep the existing profile? Okay. Yeah, for this, I'll advise not to create a new page. I'll advise not to create a new page for this. You don't need to create a new page. You can continue with the page that you have. If you decide to create a new page, or you've created a new page, that's still fine. But you can still use your existing page. For instance, I'll use myself as an example. You may still create a new page, it will be later, but for at first, I'll use myself as an example. Um, I have my page at Drag Me Right. I do so many things at the moment. A corporate lawyer. I'm a content strategist. I'm an author at the same time too. Imagine I have to create a page for every single thing I'm doing. Imagine I have to create a page for corporate law. I have to create a page for content strategy, and then to also create another page for being an author as an author. I've done so many things over the years. And okay, but the only thing I did is that for I have another page, New Cheese Books. That's for my publishing firm that I registered. But if you are creating your personal brand, your author brand, I won't advise you to create an entirely new page. Just start posting what you need to post. Just start posting your content. People that will stay will stay. People that will go will go. Most people on my current Instagram page at driving rights, most of them are not even authors. But I want to now create a new page because I'm concentrating now on author marketing, because I've concentrated on book writing, book publishing. Now I'm currently focusing on author marketing. I won't create a new page for that. I'll just let people who need to find me, create content on it. And as much as possible, I'll just ensure that the content that I'm creating on my existing page, I tie it to what I'm doing now in this season. You are an author, it is part of your brand. Everywhere you go to, everyone will know that you're an author. Nobody can separate, or nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can take being an author away from you. It's like you have a PhD basically. It's a title, it's an achievement that you've made. So it is a part of you already. Being an author is a part of you already. Like, it is part of who you are. I don't think you need to create a new page for that. You may now need to create a new page. So for this early stage, you don't need to create a new page for that. I've seen so many people who, for my clients, we use the same page. They use the same page, their personal page. They post contents about, and even sometimes when they post some personal content, they link it to the books. My client who is a pastor, she posts church content. She can post church content on Sunday, and by Monday we are talking about the book, because everything is still you. Like, everything makes up you. So you won't now say you want to create different posts for different sorry, make different pages, because it is still part of who you are. You are an author, nobody can take it away from you. That is who you are. So you don't need to create a new page. Just post your content. As much as when you keep posting your content, you will attract people naturally. You attract people. I was on my TikTok. If you go through my TikTok, you if you go through my TikTok, I post 9 to 5 content sometimes on my TikTok. I post hilarious content as well, and I also post about authors as well. And somehow this boot camp got to you, right? That's it. So it will get to the right audience, as long as you are targeting them, you are calling them out in your post and saying, you are a 20-year-old young lady who is just graduating from school, and you are planning to go back to your village or something. Before you do that, do this. If you are calling them out, even if your current audience or whoever is viewing the content, even if the content does not does not appeal to them or directly work for them, whoever sees it will send it, will forward it to someone else who needs it. So, oh, this post looks like it's talking about you. They will send it across to the person, or the algorithm will bring it to them. When you keep hammering on something over and over again, one day it will reach your target audience. It will keep reaching them. Because if you start a new page, it's still the same thing you still face too as well. And so that's just it. When I'll now advise for you that you may now decide to start a new page, when you've written up to like 2 books, let's say 2 3 books, 4 books, then you can now have a page where you just have just for all your books, a page where you have um just all your books, because you've written more than one book and you just want a page where you drop more things about your book. But if it's just one book, I feel that is what is happening currently in this season of your life. You're an author, and that's like you just launched a book. So I feel you can keep talking about it, talk about it as much as possible in many ways you want to talk about it. People will adjust. People will adjust. The right people will come and the wrong people will go. People that want to stay will stay. So just keep posting what you need to post. If people that need, please let me know if this answers your question. If you have more question hour, people that need it will read it or engage with it, or will refer it, will send it or share it to people with someone else who needs it. So I don't know if that has been helpful. Let me know our I hope she got I don't know if she's still online. Okay. Thank you, Ezekiel. I think she's offline. So yeah, whenever she comes online, I hope that answers her question. So yep. Okay. So I'm just going to conclude now. So I've been talking about the July boot camp for a long while now. It is 25,000 naira. It is 25,000 naira. I charge much more for one-on-one sessions with clients. I charge even in dollars, I charge much more. But this is going to be a group bootcamp session and it's going to be for 4 weeks. I charge much more for even one-on-one sessions, or a month strategy session, or a month strategy, content strategy for clients, auto clients. But this is going to be group, and again it's going to be the first edition. The next edition may not be as, I don't want to use the word cheap because cheap is relatable, but the next edition may not be like this. It may be much more expensive than this. So again, for whoever is watching now or be watching later, you also have the opportunity to make 2 installments. You can pay 13,000 in two installments. And we don't need so many people. If we are five, if we are six, if we are up to 15, that's fine. I just want to work with authors who are serious enough to I just want to work with authors who are serious enough to fight for visibility for their books, who know they've written a really amazing, valuable books, and more eyes should see their books. More people should see their books. So it is for authors who are serious enough, who want to truly make a difference, to change the situation of things with their content strategy, who are tired of not being able to fight to give in their all for this book that they've worked so hard on to write, that they've spent money to publish, they spent hundreds of thousands to publish, and they know they want to. So this is way less compared to 500,000 or 700,000 that you spent publishing your book, or the amount of time that you've invested into writing your book, the amount of sleepless nights that you've invested into it, the energy. Even if it's an ebook, you've invested time, energy, and money. And all of that time, energy, and money should not be buried. People should see it. Your ideal audience, your ideal readers should see your book. They should be aware that it exists. So I feel this investment is a steal compared to every other thing that you've invested in your book so far. Yeah. So if you're interested, join the wait list through the link in the description box. It will be a 4 weeks intensive. The word intensive. It will be a 4 weeks intensive program where I'll personally I'll personally work with you. I'll give you this. You are getting service similar to what I give my paid clients, my full-time paid clients, where we are sitting with you to build your content strategy. I'm giving you prompts on what to do. I'm providing content for you. You also get to be accountable as well. You get access to me as well to share your content with me and say, oh, this I've done this, and I get to follow up on you. As long as you're in the boot camp, I follow up on you to ensure to know your progress, with the work that you've done so far. And to ensure, because sometimes you may start, energy is high and everything, and by the second week you are tired. So you are accountable, you come on the group every week, we have live sessions, and then you share what you've done so far, your progress. And so we work, you get to be accountable to me. I follow up on you personally. If you're also part of the first five to make your payments or to make your investments, you get a clarity call. So that will be all for today. I'll be waiting to hear from you and to see you make an investment for your book. That will be all. We'll be wrapping it up for tonight. Thank you so much to everyone who has attended and stayed up until now. If you want to join the waitlist again, the link is in the description to join, and it's just for 25,000 naira, and you can pay in 2 installments. Thank you so much for joining. Do have a nice evening and an amazing week, especially for 9 to 5 hours. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Ezekiel, thank you so much for staying up until now. Thank you so much, Ezekiel. Thank you so much, Awa. Oh, Awa, you're back. Thank you so much. All right. Awa, please join the boot camp, the wait list for the boot camp, so you can share your I'm going to drop an assignment for anyone who will be watching this later. I'm going to drop an assignment on the waitlist group, so please join the waitlist group for the tax, so you can work on it, or even come up with anything that we've shared so far, any content that you've made so far. You can share it on the waitlist group for me to see, and I can make 1 or 2 comments on it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Do have a good night, everyone. Bye bye. I'll stop sharing my screen now, and I'll stop streaming now. Bye. Thank you so much. Okay.